Hello and welcome to a beautiful still evening here in beautiful Nova Scotia. I've just been admiring my flower garden. This time of night, it's about 7ish I think, the black-eyed Susans are like pinging, literally glowing with the beautiful yellow there, and all the different flowers are looking lovely. But I thought it's time I finished off my garlic. If you'd watched a few weeks ago, and the film's up there on the screen on the side there, I harvested my garlic and I had a really good harvest. I had Music and Red Russian were the varieties that I grew, and I've just been now, so for the last couple of weeks I've been drying them out, and as you can see now, nice and dry now, nice brown stalk, and it's all nice and dry around here, and we want to get this as dry as possible, the actual skin, so that that's what's going to lock the moisture in and the taste of the garlic and help it to keep over the winter. And last year my garlic lasted, well, all the way really until sort of May, June time. It was a bit rough around the edges at the end there, but you know, a really good winter's worth of garlic. And you know, we can say garlic's pretty cheap in the shops, but there's nothing like growing your own veg. And obviously, even if it's saving a few dollars, a few quid, it's worth it. So back to now, I have been, like I said, drying them out, and now I've been doing the last bit of prep for storing them. And this is what I've got to. So I go from this to that. So basically, before I actually get to showing you what I'm actually doing, these are my biggest bulbs. So this is Music. So I've kept my biggest bulbs, and these are going to be the ones that I replant again in, what is it, going to be about November time. So November time, then it stays in the ground over the winter. The frosts triggers that process that allows the garlic to go from one clove into a whole bulb of garlic. Otherwise, I think if you plant it, if you don't have the frost, etc., it only grows one big fat bulb rather than lots of little cloves. But I'm keeping the biggest ones to plant again because they're obviously my best ones, so I want to keep them to grow the harvest next year, and hopefully, you know, as the time goes on, all of them will be big ones. So I am keeping about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, I'm going to keep about 10 of my best bulbs, so that's 50, it'll be about 40, 50 cloves to plant up in November. So what am I going to do? So let's look at this again. So we've got the actual nice dry stalk. So I'm going to give this a bit of a trim off. Where are we? So I've got my worst snippers here. Be right back. Ta-da! So these sort of scissor type secateurs, much better, and they're sharper anyway. So I want to snip off the roots nice and tight in. Obviously we don't want to wreck the skin too much, and then the actual stalk, I want to do it about nearly an inch up. So there we go. And then I'm just going to take off maybe one layer of the skin, the outside sort of dirt layer. Don't have to, just want to keep it nice and tidy. And we want to make sure this is, and I can still feel a bit of dampness here, so I'm going to store them in a bit of a warm room for a little bit longer, just to make sure, the ones that I'm going to store over winter anyway, just to make sure it's fully dry. But this one is one of the big ones, so I'm going to be planting this out in November anyway. So let's do one more just to show you. That's not so big. Nice big fat one. Yeah, look at that. Nice big fat one there. So let us trim that off again. Nice and tidy. About an inch up. Beautiful. and then we'll just pull that away a little bit, nice and tidy, and there we go. So I'm going to go through all of mine, and either, so I think I've got enough there for planting up, but either way I'm still going to get them nice and tidy, nice and clean, and make sure they're nice and dry, and then you can store them in a dark, cool, dry place over the winter, and they will last well into the springtime. And I'm storing my garlic in these boxes, these trays that I've made from pallets. And again, there's a video up there if you haven't seen my how to make a seed tray out of pallets. It's up there, but they're well handy, and obviously they're very cheap, i.e. nothing. Handy tip number 664, I think. And job again is definitely a good one.